Welcome to the third installment of the Global Brat Network. I am your host, Jocelyn Von Strong. In this episode, we will hear from a brat who is a coach and mentor, Coach Height in St. Louis. We will get the first glimpse of our I'm a Brat project, introduce you to the Every Brat Has a Story podcast, and take a walk back in time to see what it takes to be an Embassy Marine. We also want to draw your attention to the new playlist on the Global Brat Network YouTube channel. We reached out to Coach Height after viewing his motivational video on YouTube. The following segment may be something you would like to share with your kids, brats or not. Coach Height informed us that he is producing a second video targeting younger brats to offer them encouragement.
Coming to you live on the field of life. Great day, baby. Great day, baby. Oh, yeah, I know you're looking. You like, he got on the little bitty Letterman's jacket. Yeah, I got the little bitty Letterman's jacket on representing Mannheim American High School in Germany. Yeah, you better check it out. Hey, but look, I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to get right on into it right now and put you live on the field of life and give you an example. A student just threw me back to, yeah, this is not my football number either. That's 1990. Yes, that's when I graduated. It was a wonderful time and a wonderful era. But I want to talk about a concept that goes on. I'll make a special shout out to all my service members that serve either in the U.S. or abroad. This presentation right here is for you and your families. Thanks for serving. I want to talk to you today about the military and overseas brats. Yeah, that's what we were. They called us brats. That was a nickname. That was a terminology that they came up with. And one of the reasons I want to talk about that is we were a group that, with today, with things going on, we didn't have the racism. And I know that was 1990. I'm sure you know racism still existed. But with that group that we had a bond amongst the families, amongst the kids, and the servicemen. Why? Because all of our parents wore green, blue, white, or camouflage. If they were in the Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines, everybody went to work. Whether it was your mom or your dad that was the service member, we all had that in common. We were a group that realized everybody was on the same page and worked together, and it was a common respect level within the neighborhoods. You know, your grass had to be a certain height. Your house, when you left, had to be a certain way cleaned up. I'm not going to get into all the details because I'm an Army brats, military brats, Air Force, and all them. You know what I'm talking about. But I want to talk about the actual concept of how we were because that's what made Coach Height who he is today. And I got to show love to that entire lifestyle and culture. We respected other cultures, nationalities, and things because we were in other countries. If you could think about moving every 2 to 3 years, some of you have never moved from anywhere. You've been at the same location all your life. Imagine moving to a new town, a new country, a new coast, a new neighborhood every 2.5, 3 years. As a kid, that takes a toll. And you have to have a support system around you that helps you see that this is our way of life. This is how we learn, how we grow. We were planted in different fields all the time, if you want to use that word, and then we were uprooted and put in another field to grow differently and got different experiences. And that's what made us who we were. We was already out the box from the entire concept, from the time that your dad or spouse, whoever it was, brought you into the military, and you learned that way of life. It gets me choked up when I think how I thank my dad and my mom for the sacrifice of putting us through those years and bringing us up through that because, and sometimes, and I'm going to be honest, sometimes you thought of it as a negative because the stuff that you think it might be a negative is the stuff that's turning into a positive eventually. And that's what I was looking at because all the time we were made better for it. and I didn't even realize it. We were living in different countries, learning how to speak different languages. Man, you on the football team, you on the basketball team, you on the chess club, and all of a sudden the next day they like, we moving, we going overseas to Germany, we going to Brazil to live. I mean, you gotta have some get up and go about yourself. Ain't no time for no shy guy, shy girl stuff then. And that's what I'm talking about, because the brats, the military, the overseas brats, we knew the common goal was being successful. You were raised to know we got to be better than anybody else, because we got to be able to adapt when we get to the next spot. I was class president for 3 years and just showed up at that school. I hadn't even been there my freshman year. I had to get in and adapt, or I had to be a transformer. I had to, oh, you know Coach Height was going to come with something with a little joke. But I'm coming back to the reality that when we were doing that stuff, we were learning, we were growing, and some of us didn't even know it. And now looking back on all that, I realized, and I'm going to end with this. One of my students brought this to my reality because I was telling him about the concept of being an overseas brat. And what I told him is the whole story, and you know the first thing he said, it sounds like you guys were like water. And I stepped back and I said, like water? What do you mean? We was soft? He said, no. Like water. Y'all were transparent. Y'all would be around each other. A lot of y'all could get together and move some giant force. Y'all could all have one thing going and it get too hot, evaporate, and go somewhere else. Man, come on now live on the field of life. Look at the actual metaphor. The water is what we were. We were everywhere and we could go anywhere. And with a little crack, a little area to get through here, we could make it. And we could move on to the next spot, drop down, fertilize, and be ready to go for the next spot. Here we are. Through that concept, I did not understand that water concept that he just talked about was what I was doing now. I'm spreading that water, spreading that concept of being able to adapt to different situations through life, turning negatives and negatives and negatives into positives and positives and positives. And I'm going to end by saying this. During that time as a military brat, it became obvious I was not the greatest student by any means. I struggled academically very bad. But I was able to adapt because of the things I dealt with before moving place to place to place. I was able to work through all that. I wasn't going into a shell and giving up. I was getting to a point where I realized I ain't going to stop at nothing, because in 2 more years I might move to another place and I might have to start all over. So I'm going to enjoy it while I got it now. And that's what I'm telling you to do right now. I got suspended. I got in detention for my voice carrying. All the time they kept talking about, you keep talking in class, Mr. Height. Well, Mr. Height, you're going to get your dad called because you can't act right. You're too loud in the class. And I kept going, have you ever had it where they said they just singling out you? Why they just singling out me? And I finally realized, now that I'm older, guess what? My voice does carry. And that's why they heard me when everybody else was talking. They heard me. And guess what? Now I get paid and also help a lot of people with this same voice that carries. So you that's listening right now, as Coach Height is leaving the field of life, I want you to find out what is your negative and what is your thing that you felt like was holding you back. That same thing may be the thing that's helping you grow. That same thing may be the thing that you do that's your calling. So like water, get up and evaporate if you need to, move through these objects if you need to, but make it happen. It's live on the field of life. Coach Height coming to you. I'm talking to all my military brats, all abroad, everywhere. Yeah, the jacket is tight, but we still good because I'm still holding on to it all these years later because it made me who I am today. So transform and let's roll out here. Onward and upward to new heights. Let's go.
I'm a brat, proud of it.
Introducing the I'm a Brat project. This is something near to our hearts. It's been said that one of the biggest tragedies is that brats don't even know who they are, their identity as a group. We're inviting all brats to record themselves proudly proclaiming, I'm a brat, and emailing it to us at globalbratnetwork@gmail.com. You can say whatever you want about yourself. Just be sure to include those 3 words at the beginning or at the end of your submission. Our goal is to create a video with thousands of brats from all over the world to show that brat is not just a name, it's a badge of courage, and to let brats know that they never have to be alone. We will include the submissions in future shows and in the final project. Send your submissions by April 30th, 2015, and we'll put your name in a drawing to receive a brat coin like the one I have here. Mark Curtis, creator of the Military Brats Registry, www.militarybrat.com, has been producing the Every Brat Has a Story podcast since 2002. He believes that military brats have incredible stories to tell because of their unique culture. Mark has interviewed celebrities and regular brats like himself. To follow the Every Brat Has a Story podcast, go to www.militarybrat.com. The book, Growing Up Military, is a compilation of stories by military brats and is available at Amazon.com.
Hello, I'm Mark Curtis, and I'm proud to be a military brat.
So now we're going to show you how to find the Global Brat Network YouTube channel playlists. So go to YouTube and then enter Global Brat Network. The first thing you'll see is the Global Brat Network channel. So just click on that with the silver dial, what appears to be a dial, and then scroll down, and you'll see where it reads playlists. Just click on the playlists, and you'll see all the different playlists available. So Brats That Serve, Black History Month, AFN, Focus on a Brat, Brat History, Cinema Brat, Brat Organizational and Groups, Organizations and Groups, Tiger Cruises, Brat Reunion Videos, I can't read that, Individual Brat Memoirs, and In Remembrance of Fallen Brats. So if you have anything that you'd like to contribute to these playlists, just let us know by emailing us at globalbratnetwork@gmail.com. Thank you. While we know there may be fewer military brats from the Marine Corps, we want to set aside branch rivalries and honor them, celebrate the traditions of their sponsors, and recognize their importance. Some of the more famous Marine Corps brats include Ann and Nancy Wilson of the rock band Heart, Pat Conroy, the author of The Great Santini, Patton Oswalt, the comedian known for being the short, annoying friend on The King of Queens, Renee Montaigne from NPR Morning Edition, Emmylou Harris, the Grammy Award-winning singer, John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, Heather Locklear, the actress from T.J. Hooker, Melrose Place, and more recently 2.5 Men, and Robert Hayes, the actor famous for his role as the male lead in Airplane. Here's a look at Marine Boot Camp circa 1970.
It's hard to say exactly what goes into making a Marine, or a man for that matter. But whatever it is, there are 2 basic elements you always have to have.
When I call off your last name, you're going to answer up, sir, here, and sound off your first name. Alan.
One is good material,
Brooker.
and the other is the right environment.
Here, sir, Gary.
If the Marine Corps has come to be known for the caliber of men it turns out, it's largely because of the value the Corps places on both of these requirements. It may not look like it, but the Corps is very careful in selecting its recruits.
Now, Liz.
And when it comes to training them, well, you can judge for yourself.
Villarreal.
For all Marine recruits, processing begins right here.
You're now at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California. You're about to start your first day of processing. There are 5 days involved in processing. These 5 days do not count as part of your training. From now on, the first word out of your mouth is going to be sir, unless you are asked a simple question that can be answered with a yes or a no, and then you will answer yes sir or no sir. While you are here, we will expect you to act as a man. You will be treated as a man. From now on, you will do things to the best of your ability, and you will move as fast as possible.
Almost as much a trademark of the Marines as the way they carry themselves and walk is their distinctive hairstyle. It takes some time for recruits to develop the other characteristics, but they can get the haircut in just a few minutes, which is just one of the many practical advantages of this kind of haircut. The haircutting begins the processing, and in a way, it's rather fitting because it graphically marks the kind of radical transformation the recruits can expect in other areas. As the processing continues, the recruits get the initial issue of clothing they'll wear during training.
10.5.
The first scrub down in the Corps is the first of countless showers and wash-ups of all kinds they'll undergo in the Marines. The Corps has always been zealous about cleanliness
Turn around, put your heels against the bench.
and upholding the military tradition of neatness and bearing. No matter what you're wearing.
Undo your trousers. Turn around. Go down and exchange your trousers for 34, 36.
The Corps is also very demanding about physical condition, and so examinations are an important part of the initial processing. All of these men were carefully examined before they were accepted as Marine recruits, but the Corps just wants to be sure there's nothing wrong with them now. Those that need glasses will get them.
Number 7 is missing. Number 14, snake eyes.
If any bad teeth are found, they'll be taken care of while the recruit undergoes training.
31 and OF.
Was that 30 occlusal?
Yes, number 30 occlusal.
Okay, Private. I'll be here in the classroom all the rest of the morning to give you assistance on any question that you may have.
Yes, sir.
The Corps also wants to know just what its recruits are capable of, and so they're given a series of tests. Those with some special skills will get more tests.
15, 18, 16, 19.
The PT, or physical training tests, are designed to be equally revealing about the physical condition of the recruits.
5,
Those that require it will get extra training and attention to ensure they meet the requirements set for all recruits. The last day of processing, the recruits receive their rifles and other tools of their trade, which they'll learn to use during training.
59, 27.
One, two, sir. Put down your gear. Aye, sir.
Processing ends with the arrival of the drill instructors, or DIs, who will lead them through training. For the recruits, this is probably the most important event of the processing. It brings them together with the men who are going to be personally responsible for their training.
Eight to the left! Sir! Eight to the left! Aye, sir!
During the training, the recruits in each platoon will spend some 16 hours each day under the sharp, watchful eyes of their drill instructor.
Commander Staff Sergeant Holmberg.
Over the years, these drill instructors have become almost as much of a legend in the Corps as its heroes. And rightly so, because they've had a hand in shaping most of them. But like all legends, they've been transformed and exaggerated into something that they aren't. And as a result, they're frequently judged on the basis of what people have heard they are, rather than what the recruits actually know they are.
Whenever you're told to do something, you would do it as quickly as possible to the best of your ability. All three of us, platoon commander and the two drill instructors, will be in charge of you at all times.
In any case, it's hard to exaggerate the importance of the DIs, and the Corps is very much aware of the role they play in making Marines. For this reason, it carefully selects them.
Great officer in your chain of command.
Yes, sir, it was.
Let's see, have you passed the PFT in the last 6 months?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that you have anything medically wrong with you that would disqualify you for this type of duty?
No, sir.
Staff Sergeant Green, you realize that this is a very challenging job and a very demanding job. It'll probably mean that you'll have to spend approximately 80 hours a week at work and probably have to be away from home every third night standing the duty. Do you want to be a drill instructor?
Yes, sir, I would like to be a DI.
Then just as carefully trains them at its drill instructor's school.
Period of instruction, we're going to be covering the Daily 7 exercise. You, as drill instructors, must know the Daily 7 exercise in order to teach your recruits. The Daily 7 exercise is nothing more than a warm-up exercise.
Welcome aboard, Sergeant. Thank you, sir. Please take a seat. Just out of drill.
When they do become drill instructors, they work under the supervision of a series commander who is responsible for all the platoons in a particular series. Thus, whatever he may be, every DI is carefully selected, carefully trained, experienced, and under constant supervision.
While you're in luck, Sergeant Cruz, we're just picking the series up out of receiving, and to be able to get with them all the way through, I think it'd be a very rewarding experience. It's much better starting with them. So I'll be seeing you on the drill.
Give me your buttons on button. No, sir. Answer him. Can't hear you. No, sir. How about getting your weapons squared away? Yes, sir.
And if he seems brusque and impatient, it's because he has a tough job and not much time to do it. Recruit training actually begins with the DI taking over and telling their platoons exactly what will be expected of them. The first place they run up against these demands is on the drill field. They get more of the same in physical training, where they begin with the basic exercises. And it continues in their classes.
This part here, located in gray in color, is known as the trigger housing. The trigger housing. I'm going to move down here and pick up this part right here, which is under spring.
Some 10,000 troops under the command of Brigadier General Ross. The Marines over here on the other side with only 500 men.
Careful not to touch the inside portion. And we're going to place the dressing directly on the wound.
We're going to spread our fingers out. Hard.
There are also practical applications, such as guard duty.
Sir, Frag Gallardo reports post number 4, all secure. Post and orders remains the same, nothing unusual to report, sir.
Report your post. Sir, Frank Gonzalo, post number 5.
training in close combat. Also hand-to-hand combat. And more drilling. Everybody's constantly tired and aching these first days of training. Still, the exercises get progressively harder. But they keep at it, and for most of them it pays off. For some, however, it's too much. As soon as the DIs spot individuals who are having trouble, they usually work out a program of their own to give them special help. However, when a private's inability to progress hinders progress of the platoon and other recruits, he is assigned to the special training branch.
Now, that's just a small part of the contract that each and every one of you people signed when you come in the Marine Corps. Now, that's part of the reason why you're here in motivation.
Here, the recruits work and live with others who have the same problems, and special programs are set up to help them meet the training requirements. Some may require additional motivation.
But you will get paid once.
Others need help in physical conditioning.
2, sir. 1, sir. 2, sir. 1, sir. 2, sir. 1, sir. 2, sir. Hands over. Aye, sir.
Some have medical problems which keep them from participating in the activities of a normal training platoon. For those who find it difficult to obey the rules, there's correctional custody. By the time the final days of the first phase of training roll around, everyone is beginning to feel that they're a part of a team. By now, the soreness and stiffness have begun to disappear. So have confusion and uncertainty.
Private Pipper reporting back from sick man's orders, sir.
All right, get your gear off and go with the rest of the series.
All right, sir.
Most recruits manage to find the strength and energy for sports and for competition with the other recruits in training. Drown-proofing is a vital part of recruit training, with every man required to swim at least 75 meters, fully clothed and carrying a rifle. By the time they've completed the first phase of training, the recruits are considered ready to be introduced to another old tradition of military life: mess and maintenance duty. The recruits have a week of mess and maintenance during their training.
Bone structure. You have to rely on.
They spend the next 2 weeks at the rifle range.
No.
First, learning how to use their rifles.
Weapon into your shoulder, rotating up, keeping the right elbow up high, straight up. Bring the elbow well underneath the piece, aiming in, getting a good natural point of aim, squeezing the trigger straight to the rear.
Then practicing to develop skill. This is one of many opportunities the recruits will have to qualify with their rifle. All Marines are required to fire for score once a year. Also included in second phase is an introduction to combat training. Here, the recruits are trained in basic skills they'll need in the field.
Go up to 360 degrees.
They learn how to use a compass.
It's composed of that makes up the earth. Now then, what we're going to learn today is how to shoot an azimuth.
Before we can do this, we must
practice using maps.
Such as the point, if you look to your rear, where the little radar is set up on the hill.
Here, they have a chance to actually work with mines and demolition charges.
Pick it up and keep your finger on the door at all times.
The recruits also learn to use grenades properly.
Prepare to throw. Throw grenade.
On the way!
Infiltration training. Combat training introduces the recruits to the kind of food and living conditions they'll encounter in the field. Practically all training is in the form of exercise, with the recruits actually doing what they're learning. Many of the training activities take place at night. Tracer displays show the various kinds of coverage produced by different fire patterns. The men return to the recruit depot for the third and final phase of their training. This is a spit and polish period, and everyone is very much aware that there are only a few weeks of training left. With the recruits expectantly looking forward to the end of their arduous and demanding schedule, and the drill instructor struggling to smooth out the rough edges in time for graduation. In the meantime, everyone continues to drill. The physical training is harder than ever. Still, everybody does it. Their schedule is tougher than ever, but now they can handle it without straining.
If you don't see anything to it, you don't do anything about it.
For those who display a potential as leaders, there is a special program to develop it and make them aware of the challenges and rewards, as well as the responsibilities of leadership.
Discuss the problem with them.
Almost before anybody can believe it, graduation day arrives. As far as the recruits are concerned, there are really no special preparations. Their barracks are always spotless. The ranks and uniforms display the same daily meticulous care. What family and friends of the recruits see here today is no special show, but actually the same conditions they could see any day. The big difference, of course, is in the recruits themselves. For parents and relatives, it's well worth the long trip many of them have made to be here. It's a proud and happy day for families and friends. The recruits' pride and feeling of accomplishment seems to be contagious. Even the seasoned old mentors who have gone through this many times before feel it. And some of those tough, stone-faced characters will even sheepishly admit that they feel a great sense of loss every time graduation day comes around. It's an especially proud day for the recruits who receive awards. And there are many, ranging from the most outstanding recruit to those who have excelled in the different areas of training. But whether or not they received a special award, all the recruits have a feeling of achievement. They've earned the right to be called Marines. It takes good men to get through the Marine recruit training program, and everybody knows it. But there are two facts you can't get away from. It's that the Corps obviously started with some pretty good men. And it's equally obvious that it did a pretty good job of training them. The whole thing is nicely summed up in the words of one mother who wrote, "We sent you a boy, and you sent back a man." She could also have said, "You sent back a Marine."
Feel good!
Beirut, 1983. The Marine barracks in Lebanon was targeted by terrorists. The following segment takes a look at how the Navy reported this tragic event.
Victims of the October 23rd bombing of the Marine headquarters in Beirut came home late last month. 7 Marines and 1 sailor wounded in the blast were the first to arrive at Andrews Air Force Base on October 28th. The men were taken to a base hospital for medical processing and reunions with family members. Later, several Marines fielded questions from the press on their experiences in Beirut and their feelings on being home.
Did you want to go back? Well, if I had to go back, I would, yes.
Welcome home, guys.
Thank you.
The C-141, bringing home the first of the 239 that died in the Beirut bombing, touched down shortly before 4 the next morning. The 14 Marines and Hospital Corpsman Chief George W. Piercy were taken to a hangar at Dover Air Force Base, Delaware. In the early morning hours, the nation paid respect to those that died in Lebanon. General Paul Kelly, Commandant of the Marine Corps, who had just returned from Lebanon, and Admiral Watkins took part in the brief memorial ceremony.
I salute you, dear brothers in uniform. Come home to our beloved United States and ask God to give solace and comfort to your families and friends in this hour of great pain and personal loss. We will not forget you.
What does it take to be an Embassy Marine? This segment shows just how much is asked of our Marines when assigned to embassy duty.
Over the history of our country, Marines have served many times on special missions to embassies and legations, protected American life and property in such unsettled areas as China and Cuba. Shortly after World War II, in a period of growing international tensions and increased espionage activity, the Department of State became convinced that a military guard force was needed to guarantee the security of its foreign service establishments around the world. An alert, well-trained, strongly disciplined force to replace American and foreign civilians being used as guards. In December 1948, an agreement based on the Foreign Service Act was reached between the Department of Navy and the Department of State, establishing the Marine Security Guard Program. Marine Security Guards come under the control of the State Department. That is, they work for the ambassador and are under direct control of the security officer. Their primary mission is to prevent the compromise of classified material vital to the security of the United States. In addition, they provide protection for government property and American personnel at the post. Although Marines in the program work for the ambassador, they remain under the administrative control of the Marine Corps. Security guards are a vital part of foreign service establishments. Their dependability must be absolute, 24 hours a day, on and off duty. The nature of this select duty dictates the requirements for highly motivated, enthusiastic Marines. These men are trained at the Marine Security Guard School, Henderson Hall, Arlington, Virginia, a joint undertaking of the Department of State and the Marine Corps. Marines selected for training are among the top men in the Marine Corps, and they are all volunteers. Below the grade of Staff Sergeant, they must be unmarried and agree to remain so throughout their tours of duty. Students who are staff sergeants and above may be married. All applicants must have completed at least 18 months of active duty service and stand high in the Corps' educational rating system. Above all, applicants must have an excellent conduct record, be in excellent physical condition, must be cleared by a background investigation for top secret clearance, and must be mature, stable individuals. The first few days are spent getting ready for the actual weeks of training. They receive enough immunization shots to use up 3 sets of arms. Passport photographs, another reminder that they will live in a foreign country for 2 years and represent the United States to the people of that country just as surely as any tourist or State Department civilian employee. Marine security guards must be able to drive motor vehicles safely and intelligently. Customs and regulations in other countries vary greatly, and driving can be a problem. Each man is thoroughly checked out. The last activity for the new class before beginning schoolwork is a physical readiness test. These men are Marines, with a basic requirement to be physically fit, a requirement that will continue throughout their foreign service duty. The Marine Security Guard School is much more than a training school. It must instill a special spirit and special motivation into each graduate, an awareness that he will be a vital part of the embassy staff. The director of the school briefs the new student.
That although you will be working for the Department of State, you are first and last Marines. A particularly select Marine, one who will be expected to adhere to the very highest standards of conduct, devotion to duty, loyalty, and personal appearance. Before you can graduate from this course, you must demonstrate a high degree of motivation and enthusiasm to indicate your capability of performing this independent duty in a self-disciplined manner with little supervision. Those of you who do successfully complete the course will be joining a group of select and proud Marines who represent the Marine Corps, the Department of State, and the United States itself in many foreign countries. There is a tremendous responsibility attached to this assignment, both on and off duty. For your every action will be under the close scrutiny of the foreign nationals that you meet. This requires that your conduct be above reproach, that you be alert 24 hours a day to the image that you are presenting. Apply yourself diligently during the coming weeks, as the goal that you seek is worth your very best effort.
Students are taught the fundamentals of security. They learn, too, of the pitfalls and problems which are hazards to security, particularly the adverse effect on security of incidents of misconduct.
Personal conduct overseas may have an adverse effect upon your duties involving security. Generally speaking, these areas are the black market, illegal money exchange, reckless driving, drinking, and early marriage.
Our diplomats play a very important part in international affairs. They represent our government at international conferences such as United Nations, CETO, CENTO, NATO, and the OAS. As an example, the OAS, otherwise known as the Organization of American States, is the world's oldest international organization.
State Department officials instruct students in the role the United States plays in international affairs.
In order to preserve peace and security and prosperity for the Americans.
Wherever possible, practical demonstrations are given to supplement classroom work and theory. Students learn about bombs and infernal devices and how to set or change combinations of various lock systems. In keeping with the Marine tradition of constant readiness, students receive instruction on the weapon carried by security guards. Ceremonial events, such as firing salutes and raising the colors, are conducted. Many times in a foreign country, the precision and discipline shown during an official ceremony can help promote a favorable impression on foreign officials and visitors. Throughout the school term, particular emphasis is placed on personal appearance, Marine customs and traditions, discipline, courtesy, and good manners. In many cases, a Marine Guard will be the sole yardstick by which America is measured. In keeping with this responsibility, the school conducts many classes to help the student understand people and how to get along with them.
This fact obligates you to conduct yourself in a manner to reflect credit upon your country. Learn the custom of the country that you're stationed in. Be friendly and honest in all of your transactions, and avoid any suggestion of American superiority. Meet the nationals on a footing of equality and mutual understanding. Remember, you are a guest in their country. Avoid conflicts and arguments. Stand up firmly for your own country and its rights. Be mindful that many of the people of the world have not seen Americans. What they know of us is what they have been told. Therefore, it is possible that all Americans will be judged by you and your actions. It is important that the image of Americans reflect the truth and not a distortion. These may be dangerous.
One problem Marine security guards must face is the handling of cranks.
These persons are usually malcontents or mentally incompetent and should be handled with courtesy. No physical force should be used unless absolutely necessary. Of course, when a mob is involved, this situation calls for the securing of entrances, exits, gates, and obtaining instructions from the security officer. At one point,
the school curriculum is tough, but it must produce a very special kind of graduate. A security guard who is deeply aware of the vital nature of his work. Each student must learn the penetration methods used by communist countries.
Is to acquaint you with a few of the methods they employ to embarrass, intimidate, subvert, or discredit Americans whenever a situation presents itself. This is a problem, a special sort of combat in an altogether different type of war, which we all must face and live with. You must be ever on the alert against very unique tactics which seek to compromise you or to undermine your loyalty to your country. Our security program is aimed at helping the Department of State and our government in carrying out its responsibilities to the American people in the conduct of our foreign affairs. Therefore, the absolute protection of classified material must be assured by employees whose loyalty is not divided nor weakened by thoughtless and irresponsible actions.
In addition to learning about foreign governments and philosophies, the students gain a basic understanding of our government, how a democracy functions, and why. A lot of questions will be thrown at them once they're on duty. Throughout the course, the school provides as much practical on-the-job training as possible. Once the students have been given the fundamentals, They conduct actual security inspections of offices in the State Department buildings under the supervision of a State Department security officer. This is the kind of work they will do at foreign service establishments. Protect classified material, ensure proper security measures and procedures. As the course progresses, each student undergoes 2 formal screening missions.
Corporal Viola, you were instructed to fill out this questionnaire on both your military and civilian background. You were further instructed to include in the questionnaire any adverse incidents in your past history. Did you omit any such incident?
No, sir.
Now you realize, of course, that we're going to do a very thorough background investigation on you in order to determine whether you can be cleared to handle top secret material. When the investigator goes to your hometown and talks to the police and to your neighbors and teachers, is he going to discover some incident that you have not included on this?
If he's going to trip himself up or exhibit any instability or wrong attitude, the time for it to happen is now, not overseas. It's a tough school. It has to be. At the end of the 5-week session, when the class party is held, the students are really ready to relax and enjoy themselves. Graduation Day, held in the State Department courtyard.
For the American Revolution. And that was the same year in which the Marine
class receives a special honor, an address by the Secretary of State.
Not until a few years later that we appointed a Secretary of Foreign Affairs to manage our foreign relations. But ever since, diplomacy and the Marine Corps have had many ties. It is my privilege to welcome you into the diplomatic service. I have little doubt, General, that this graduating class will itself meet the great traditions of the elite corps and of this elite group within an elite corps as they take up their service in all parts of the world.
Marine Security Guard graduates, special men with special skills. Within days, they are on their way to posts all over the world. There are almost 800 Marine Security Guards distributed among 94 Security Guard detachments located in 83 countries around the globe. From Bombay to London, Paris to Cairo, Marines are guarding information and material vital to our country's security. First stop for a new guard may be one of 4 regional headquarters located in Frankfurt, Germany, Beirut, Lebanon, Panama City, Panama, or in this case, Manila in the Philippines. Here, the new man spends a week or so being briefed on the particular security problems of the area, native customs and traditions he will encounter at his duty post. Since this Marine is on his way to Bangkok, he will receive a thorough indoctrination in the religious and political beliefs of the Thais. In Bangkok, the new security guard will live in attractive modern quarters located just a short distance from the embassy. Detachments of security guards vary between 5 and 34 men. The majority are no larger than the 11-man detachment in Bangkok. In every case except one, the detachments are under the military control of a Marine Staff non-commissioned officer. He is responsible for the supervision of the guards, the individual training of the men, administrative matters relating to the Marine Corps, and as assistant to the post security officer, he assists in maintaining the security of the post. The normal workday of the security guard begins about 5:30 p.m. on Monday through Friday and continues throughout the night until about 9:30 the following morning. On Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, guards are on duty 24 hours a day. Individual guards are changed every 8 hours to ensure top physical and mental alertness. Marines check the logbook for instructions before going on duty, acquaint themselves with any special notices, and the names of visitors expected. One of the many security activities is visitor control, making absolutely certain no unauthorized person is permitted in any of the embassy's buildings. In all contacts, the guard is courteous, helpful, and pleasant. He is a representative of the United States, and his conduct and attitude can go a long way toward making new friends for our country. When an authorized visitor is admitted, the guard makes sure his activities are properly supervised. Roving guards check offices and building interiors to make sure no classified material has been left out by accident. Carbons, scratch paper, and typewriter ribbons in wastebaskets could contain classified notes. When security violations are noted, a report is made and immediate steps are taken to correct the situation. In addition to security inspections, the guard monitors the work of the cleaning force, notes fire and safety hazards, and checks the lighting, alarm, and emergency communication systems. Daytime security activities include the burning of classified material, security checks of working areas during lunch break, and inspection of firefighting equipment. And always, in each Marine's mind, is the constant awareness that an emergency could occur at any instant. The ever-present mental conditioning to be ready for that emergency, no matter what it is. Another important aspect of the Marine Security Guard program is security protection for high-ranking United States delegates to international conferences around the world. Many times, the President, Secretary of State, or other high-ranking officials are in attendance. The classified information they have in their possession demands absolute security protection. Since no two conferences are exactly alike, Marine Guard requirements and duties are carefully planned for each conference. Trained Marine Guards are detailed from the Security Guard School in Washington, D.C., or from various foreign service posts around the world. Thus, a Marine Guard in Bangkok may find himself on temporary duty at an international conference in Tokyo. The training of a Marine Security Guard never ceases. In addition to continuing instruction on security measures, he learns the customs, history, and political beliefs of the country. Possibly the most interesting activity is learning to speak the language. A guard must be mentally and physically alert to properly perform his duty. In time of stress, there is no substitute for previous conditioning, no substitute for being ready. Physical conditioning is an important part of the post-training program and a welcome recreational activity at the same time. In line with the President's people-to-people program, Marines on duty at foreign service posts have always involved themselves with the people of a country, particularly the children. There's not a detachment anywhere in the world that doesn't sponsor some kind of children's activity. Off-duty Marines have the opportunity of a lifetime to really get to know a foreign country and its people. They are not restricted to the normal tour set up for tourists. They can and do get out among the people, completely away from the American community. On these excursions, they use the foreign language they have learned, which in itself is a compliment to the foreign nation. It is evidence of the sincerity of the Marines in attempting to learn the culture and way of life of their country. The warm response of the people of the country invariably provides an opportunity for the Marines to see sights and participate in events they will always remember, an experience very few people will ever have. It is notable, too, that those foreign nationals who come in contact with Marine security guards become friends with them and will never forget their experiences either. A favorable impression of the Marines will, in effect, become respect and friendship toward the United States. Marine Security Guards. They stand ready to protect life and property in emergency situations. Wherever they serve, throughout the world, they inspire a feeling of confidence, a sense of security.
Mail call. Last week we featured a video honoring Walter Reeves. We received an email that provided us with more details of Mr. Reeves' service. He was a World War II Navy veteran and a school principal for Dodds from 1961 through 1985. He served in Aviano, Italy, Hahn, Germany, Incirlik, Turkey, Sembach, Kaiserslautern, Nuremberg, and then back to Kaiserslautern, Germany. He retired to his home in California. Thank you, Howard, for connecting the dots for us. Thank you for joining us at Global Brat Network. Until next time, I'm your host, Jocelyn Von Strong. Brat on.
Zug nach Rathaus Steglitz. Einsteigen bitte. Zurückbleiben bitte.
Berliner Straße. Übergang. Die beiden rein und wieder oder was? Bauarbeiten zwischen Berliner Straße und Mehringbrücke. Verkehr mit Bussen eingerichtet. Attention, due to construction work on the U7, the replacement bus services in operation between Berliner Straße engineering